Okay, so this is a video to help when you're graphing a line and you end up with fractions. Because when we're graphing using this, you cannot graph as a fraction. So like if I try to select 1/2, it's going to automatically make me select a whole number. Okay, so this video I'm going to give you some ideas to help with this. So what we're going to do is put both equations in slope-intercept form. The first one is already in slope-intercept form. It's solved for y, so we need to do that to the second one. So we have 4x minus 5y is less than -7. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this for y. So we subtract 4x from both sides. We have -5y is less than, now I'm going to put this -4x first, just because when it's y equals mx plus b, the x term comes first. We want it in that form. Okay, next we divide by -5. Now very important that we remember when we divide an inequality by a negative number, it's got to flip the sign. So those cancel, and now it's going to be y is greater than -4 divided by -5 becomes a +4/5 x plus 7/5. So you're probably starting to see by now, like, oh, here we go. We've got ourselves an equation to graph. If I tried to graph this on here, it wouldn't let me do it. I couldn't select 7/5. I couldn't select 4/5. So there's going to be a few different ways to do this. Here's one way that I thought of. I was trying to think, what value could I plug in for x? So basically making an xy chart. What value could I plug in for x that I could add to 7/5 to make a whole number? Well, if I added, so just forget about this for a sec. We'll just talk what would we need to add. If we added 3 to 7, we'd have 10/5. 10 divided by 5 would give me a whole number of 2. Another idea, if I added 8, if I do 8 plus 7, 8 plus 7 would be 15, and I get 15/5. So that one would work. Well, 8 is something I can actually get here, because if I plug in 2 for x, I'll get 8/5, right? So plug in 2 for x, so we solve that. So we'll just put y equals for a minute while we solve. So y times 4/5 times, or y equals 4/5 times 2/1 plus 7/5. So 4 times 2 is 8/5 plus 7/5. 8/5 plus 7/5 equals 15/5. And what is 15 divided by 5, or 15/5? That's going to be 3. So that gives us a whole number. And so now we can graph that point. We can go 1, 2, and then up 3 would be our point. Well, anytime we have a point on the graph, we can then use our slope to find another point. So from this point, I can go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that will be my line. So we'll actually put this on the graph in just a minute, but, or I guess I can just do it now. It's going to be a dotted line through there, and then we need to do the shading. So I'll test the point 0, 0. We plug that in. We end up with 0 minus 0, or basically just 0 is less than -7. Well, is 0 less than -7? No, it's not. And so we would shade up here. Okay. So basically, the idea here is we're seeing what do we need to add to 7/5 to make it a whole number. And basically it's just multiples of 5. If I could make it 10 or 15, and if I multiplied the 4 by 2, that gave me the 8. So anyway, it's a little bit of a roundabout way to do it, but that does give you a way to find a whole number to start with. And once you have a whole number, you can use the fraction to get to another one. Now, if you're having a hard time finding a number that works evenly, you could just try a few. You know, you could just make yourself an XY chart and try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see if one of those works for it. So anyway, I hope that helps. and email me if you're still feeling confused.